to make our city more livable and sustainable. Take our climate card, for example. It's a game changer, encouraging public transport use over cars and helping people stay active without even thinking about it. We also have the Risk Doctor 9988 app, and its name holds a special meaning. 99 symbolizes longevity, and 88, or 팔팔하게, signifies living vibrantly and healthily. It's all about promoting wellness at every age. It's like having a health buddy on your wrist, tracking what you eat and how much you move. It turns daily health decisions into a fun challenge, rewarding you with the points you can use right in your neighborhood. And then, our outdoor library. Imagine lounging on the grass with a good book, surrounded by nature and your family. It's a fresh twist on the traditional library experience and a perfect weekend escape. We have 3 days ahead of us, packed with inspiring ideas and experience from all over the world. I'm here not just to share, but to learn from all of you as we explore new ways to make our cities healthier and more vibrant. Thank you for being here, for your dedication to our communities, and for joining this journey towards a healthier urban living. Let's make these next few days as impactful as they can be. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Han. That was a beautiful speech. Let's give her another big round of applause. 네, 한혜진 님이었습니다.
So this has been
Next,
Ambassador
I'd like to invite
Han Ye-jin.
onto the stage Mayor Oh Se-hoon for his opening remarks and a presentation on the future vision of Healthy City. Please join me in welcoming him with a big round of applause. 네, 오세훈 서울특별시장님께
Now let us invite Mayor Oh Se-hoon of the Seoul Metropolitan Government.
네, 여러분 반갑습니다.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I warmly welcome all of you to the 10th Global Conference of the Alliance for Healthy Cities. Thank you so much for being here with us. This is the first large-scale face-to-face conference in 6 years since the 8th conference held in Malaysia in 2018. And it is of great significance that cities around the world will share their experiences and examples on the development direction of healthy cities after the pandemic and discuss our direction of development for a better future. I would like to express my gratitude to the mayors of cities around the world, representatives of AFHC member cities, and WHO officials for visiting Seoul to attend this conference. I would also like to express my gratitude to Vice Chairman Lee Jong-wan of the Seoul Metropolitan Council, as well as the Chairman of the Health and Welfare Committee and the committee members, mayors of healthy cities of Korea, and ambassadors from the embassies stationed in Korea, and many other distinguished guests. Thank you so much. Since the pandemic, the value of health has never been higher, and the world is now striving to create a well-being society to live well and healthily. Focusing on the concept of One Health, which means that the entire planet is a healthy community, it has become more important to make both the environment and the people healthy. Today, any individuals cannot just maintain their health alone. We need to work together. Today, more than half of the world's population live in cities, and by 2050, that number is expected to reach around 70%. So, it is no exaggeration to say that the health of a city is the health of the earth as well as the health of the world. So, it is crucial to establish healthy cities that protect the health of citizens and the health of the cities. And this is a key to creating a well-being society for all of us. And we have been working on policies from a health perspective based on enhancing equity through supporting the vulnerable and creating a carbon-reducing environment through climate accompaniment. Through cooperation and joint efforts in various areas, It is the core goal of the Seoul Metropolitan Government to create a well-being city where all citizens in Seoul can live in a healthy environment anytime and anywhere and live a long and healthy life. And this is a core value and the vision of Seoul. First of all, we're taking the lead in creating a healthy urban environment. The increase in disasters caused by climate change and the spread of infectious diseases are already a global threat. In Seoul, the average temperature has risen by about 2.3 degrees Celsius over the past 100 years, and extreme weather such as heat waves and heavy rains have occurred, threatening the daily lives and safety of citizens. To respond to the climate crisis and ensure safety and health of our citizens, the Seoul Metropolitan Government is promoting an active carbon reduction policy. First, we're promoting the restructuring of our urban spaces so that various activities of daily life can be carried out within a 30-minute walk. We're creating a walkable city that is carbon neutral, self-sufficient, and efficient in responding to infectious diseases. In addition, the Climate Companion Card, which allows unlimited use of public transportation such as subways, buses, and public bicycles by charging a certain amount, as well as to be included as Han River buses, is currently used every day by more than 570,000 citizens. And through citizens' efforts to reduce carbon emissions, a new Seoul-style public transportation culture is being formed. In addition, we are promoting the Garden City project, where any Seoul citizen can enjoy a green environment within a 5-minute walk. By 2026, we plan to create more than 1,000 gardens across Seoul. And we have the Hangang River Park, built along with the Han River. Seoul's main waterway is a famous attraction in Seoul that is visited by about 60 million people a year. In order to restore the natural environment of the Han River and improve the urban environment, we are creating forests throughout the Han River to make it a more green waterfront space for our citizens. Second, we're committed to ensuring the right to health so that every citizen can live until 99 energetically, which sounds as 88 in Korean. So we have this 9988 campaign. Although the average life expectancy has increased thanks to the development of medical technology, it is said that more than 10% of people live unhealthy lives. And to promote healthy life expectancy, it is necessary to strengthen the capacity to practice and manage their own health throughout life and provide comprehensive services and guarantee the right to health of all citizens. The Seoul Metropolitan Government is promoting the Wrist Doctor 9988 project, which is a digital healthcare service for citizens. So people can earn points through healthy activities such as walking and diet management and use the accumulated points to purchase items for healthy life. So our citizens are very happy with this program. And currently, more than 1.2 million citizens are using this Wrist Doctor 9988, and more than 600,000 people continue to walk and lead healthy lives using the Wrist Doctor 9988. And we plan to add metabolic syndrome management and mental health management service to evolve it into an integrated health management platform for our citizens. In addition, we encourage healthy eating habits for children and adolescents to cut sugar intake. So this is the Less Sweet campaign, or Less Sweet 9988 campaign for our kids, so that we can encourage young people to have healthy eating habits. And we provide mental health services for young adults and teenagers who are suffering from excessive stress in a competitive society. In addition, we support the management of metabolic syndrome and cardiovascular disease management to prevent chronic diseases in the middle-aged and the elderly. And for the healthy aging of the elderly, we're striving to establish community care by promoting a healthy longevity project created by residents and a visit-type healthcare project utilizing our local experts. And we're also taking care of the health of citizens by expanding the safety net for emergency medical care, strengthening infectious disease responses, and blocking illicit drug supply at its source. Third, we are creating a city that supports the vulnerable so that no citizen is left behind. According to the 2022 World Inequality Report, income inequality has worsened due to the pandemic, deepening inequality and polarization across social areas such as health, education, and housing. In addition, as the range of the vulnerable continues to expand amid complex social changes such as low birth rate, aging population, and digital transformation, we need to make policy consideration for the socially vulnerable. So, 2 years ago, when I took office as the mayor of Seoul, the first thing I did was to declare companion with the vulnerable and create a dedicated department. And for the first time in the world, we have developed a companion index for the vulnerable to analyze and respond to vulnerabilities in each area of our society related to our citizens' lives from the perspective of the vulnerable. And we know that the problem of isolation and loneliness in our modern society is becoming a social issue. And mental health is as important as physical health. And countries around the world are recognizing the seriousness of isolation and social loneliness. And we need to address these mental health issues. Because mental health issues can lead to depression and can lead to higher suicide rates, and these may cause a lot of social issues. Therefore, the Seoul Metropolitan Government has established an organization dedicated to dealing with these mental challenges, including isolation and loneliness, in July. And this organization is making all-out efforts by working closely with diverse organizations within the Seoul Metropolitan Government. We're going to announce a comprehensive plan next month. And for isolated and reclusive young adults, we provide psycho-emotional support and customized social rehabilitation programs so that they will not be marginalized. And for the elderly living alone, we're supporting local small group activities and expanding in-home treatment services. And we're strengthening community care for dementia patients and improve the quality of life of patients as well as their families by managing the prevention, diagnosis, and care in an integrated manner. And we also provide enhanced healthcare services in each area so that low-income seniors who are climate vulnerable do not suffer health damage. And we're significantly expanding the public healthcare infrastructure for the vulnerable and establish a dedicated medical institution for the disabled. And we're strengthening cooperation with private sector institutions and medical care providers. I believe that a sustainable and healthy city is the future vision and direction of every city around the world. I hope that through the 10th Global Conference of the Alliance for Healthy Cities, we will be able to find solutions and ideas on what effective methods and policies can protect the health of all members of our cities and improve the quality of life. And going forward, the Seoul Metropolitan Government will continue to strive to create a livable city where all citizens can enjoy a healthy and happy daily life from the perspective of one health concept so that we can have a sustainable and healthy city. Thank you so much for your attention.
오세훈 시장님께 커다란 박수.
Thank you very much. A big round of applause for our mayor.
Thank you very much, Mayor O, for kindly walking us through the fun, educated, and creative initiatives. I wish all the success of your new projects. Now, moving on to welcome remarks, we would like to hear first from Mr. Lee Jong-hwan, Vice Chairperson of the Seoul Metropolitan Council. Please welcome him with the biggest round of applause. 네, 서울시의회 이종환 부의장님의 환영사가 있겠습니다. 따뜻한 박수로 환영해 주시기 바랍니다.
예, 여러분 환영합니다.
Welcome.
안전한 서울.
A safe soul, a happy soul, is what we are striving to achieve, and I am the Vice Speaker of the Seoul Metropolitan Council. My name is Lee Jong-hwan. It is indeed a great honor for me to deliver my remarks of welcome at this very meaningful gathering. The 10th Global Conference of the Alliance for Healthy Cities is the occasion that gathers us here in Seoul. Thank you very much for joining us all the way in Seoul. I do hope that all of the guests who have arrived late last night but have joined us early this morning are not experiencing too much fatigue. In order to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Alliance, the Seoul Metropolitan Government is hosting this global conference, and I do hope that it will become a pivotal point for establishing a global governance for healthier cities. Seoul Metropolitan Council works to lay down the grounds for a safe city and also works to create a more healthy environment for our future generation, which I believe is in line with the theme of this conference, Smarter and Healthier Cities for a Better Future. Not only do we have member cities from the West Pacific, but we do have delegations from across the globe. As we have gathered cities from around the world, I do hope that it will be an opportunity to share our best practices in terms of our policies, and I hope that we can have in-depth dialogue on the future directions of healthier cities. Thank you very much to the AFHC as well as the WHO who have continuously supported us for the successful hosting of this global conference. And thank you very much once again for the participation of the distinguished guests from home and abroad. I hope that you will enjoy the great weather of early fall that we experience in Korea. I hope you bring home great memories. Thank you. Thank you very much. We have just heard from the Vice Speaker
for such kind and encouraging words. Next, we'd like to hear from Ms. Kim Young-ok, Head of the Health and Social Affairs Committee of Seoul Metropolitan Council. Please give her a big hand. 다음으로는 서울시의회
Next, we will hear from Chairman Kim Young-ok of the Health and Social Affairs Committee of the Seoul Metropolitan Council.
환영합니다, 여러분.
Good morning. Welcome. As was introduced, I am Kim Young-ok, Chairperson of the Health and Social Affairs Committee of the Seoul Metropolitan Council. Mayor Oh mentioned of the Healthy City 9988, and we have many members of the Health and Social Affairs Committee of the Seoul Metropolitan Council, and we're working hard together with the Metropolitan Government to ensure that we have a healthy city in Seoul. I'd like to extend my warm welcome to all of you to Seoul who are here to attend the 10th Global Conference of the Alliance for Healthy Cities. Thank you so much for being here. And this Global Conference of the Alliance for Healthy Cities is a meaningful event, and I'd like to thank the organizers for inviting me. I would also like to express my gratitude to the Seoul Metropolitan Government, as well as those from the WHO for their support. The Healthy City Alliance started about 20 years ago in the Asia-Pacific region, and I believe that this conference is an opportunity where cities can share their experiences and effective policies in building a more sustainable and healthier city. The Seoul Metropolitan Council is working hard to make Seoul a healthier city in line with the conference theme of smarter and healthier cities for a better future. We are striving to ensure health and safety of citizens and build a strong foundation for our future generations. The Seoul Metropolitan Government has been introducing a number of healthy initiatives for the elderly and to discourage smoking, and there are a number of effective policies that have been carried out by the Seoul Metropolitan Government in promoting health and safety of the citizens. And I believe that many other cities and municipalities will share what they've been doing to promote smarter and healthier cities. And I believe that all of these endeavors are important in building a foundation for a better future for our younger generations. As we have many participating cities here, I believe that they will share excellent policies and great ideas in building a better future for all of us. I'd like to once again express my gratitude to mayors and representatives of the cities and municipalities from home and abroad. And I hope that you will make meaningful discussions here during this conference. And I also hope that you will make great memories while you stay here in Seoul. Thank you.
김영옥 위원장님.
Thank you very much for your remarks.
Thank you, Ms. Kim, for such passionate and thoughtful words. For our next speech, Ms. Scarlett Oilan Pong would like to extend a special welcome to all of us. She's the chair of the organizing committee and representative of the host city of the 9th Global Conference of the Alliance for Healthy Cities. Please join me in welcoming him with a massive round of applause.
Honorable Mr. Oh Se-hoon, Mayor of Seoul, Dr. Susan Mercado, Director of Program Management, World Health Organization, Western Pacific Regional Office, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Joan Ajim Yeyo, good morning. It's a great honor to welcome you to the opening of the 10th Global Conference of the Alliance for Healthy City here in Seoul, Korea. On behalf of the China-Hong Kong chapter, I extend best wishes for a successful conference under the leadership of our AFXC team and Mayor Oh, who has shown unwavering commitment to the Healthy City initiative for the past 15 years. As the organizing chairman for both the 6th and the 9th conference, I am especially delighted to engage with such a distinguished audience of mayors, health professionals, and advocates. This year's theme, Smarter and Healthier City for a Better Future, resonates deeply with the WHO initiative on urban governance for health and well-being, with nearly 70% of the world population projected to live in urban area by 2050, effective local governance is essential. It played a critical role in enhancing both the physical and social environments of our city, enabling community to thrive and individuals to reach their fullest potential. It is inspiring to see so many dedicated individuals here, like you, collaborating to create resilient and sustainable urban space. We recognize the importance of thoughtfully integrating people, environment, and system. The insight we gain during this conference will empower us to address the challenges we face in alignment with our theme of becoming smarter and healthier city. As chairman of Health Promoting School Advisory Committee, I have witnessed firsthand the impact of strategic initiative. The Hong Kong government pilot program, supported by a review study, has led to the implementation of standard-driven practice that promote healthy behavior in school. This aligned with the health-promoting school concept established by the WHO, UNESCO, and UNICEF in 1995. The recent launch of the global standard in supportive environment in school, which are vital for the well-being of our students, our families, and their broader community. Another notable initiative from the Hong Kong government is to establish a resident-oriented well-being design guide. This comprehensive guide includes 8 components that address key concepts and design suggestions related to health, sustainability, and community connection, providing a robust framework for future public housing development. Last but not the least, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Alliance of Healthy City and the Seoul Metropolitan Government for the exceptional organization of this conference, as well as to WHO Ripple for the excellent support. I wish you all a rewarding and enriching experience at this conference. Thank you so much. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much.
Remarks. I hope you have a pleasant stay in Seoul. Now we will hear a congratulatory message from the WHO Director General. Dr. Tewodros Ghebreyesus was unable to attend today, so he kindly sent us a video message instead. Please take a look.
Mayor Oh Si-hoon, Excellencies, Honorable Mayors, dear colleagues and friends, Kamsahamnida. I thank the Honorable Mayor Oh Si-hoon for convening this event and the Alliance for Healthy Cities for bringing together mayors from around the world. With over half of the world's population living in urban areas, people-centered urban planning that prioritizes health and well-being is essential for increasing equity and reducing public health risks. For example, using artificial intelligence to ease road congestion, decrease emissions, protect green spaces, and increase physical activity. Cities are also becoming more sustainable and eco-friendly through renewable energy, green buildings, and better waste management. These innovations can help to reduce the spread of waterborne diseases, reduce the impact of non-communicable diseases, and help to mitigate extreme heat waves. Many cities are also leveraging big data, sensors, and analytics to optimize urban planning and traffic, along with emergency response capacities. Globally, more than 3,000 cities and municipalities are part of the WHO Healthy Cities Network, which supports sustainable, resilient urban development that prioritizes people and the planet. WHO is dedicated to supporting mayors and urban planners in our shared goal of healthier, safer, and more equitable cities. I thank you. Kamsahamnida.
Of World Health Organization. We will have one more congratulatory speech from Ms. Lee Soo-hee, Chair of the AFC Steering Committee. Please welcome her with big hands.
네, 여러분 반갑습니다.
Good morning, everyone. As was introduced, I am Lee Soo-hee, Chair of the AFHC Steering Committee and the Mayor of Gangdong-gu. I'm very pleased to welcome all of you to Seoul, where the 10th Global Conference is being held. And it is all the more meaningful that Seoul is one of the first members of the Alliance, and we are serving as a chair of this event in commemoration of the 20th anniversary of the Alliance for Healthy Cities. I'd like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to Mayor Oh Se-hoon and staff members of the Seoul Metropolitan Government for organizing this 10th Global Conference. I would also like to thank the WHO Western Pacific Region Secretariat for their continued support and encouragement. As you may know very well, Since its establishment in October 2003, the Alliance for Healthy Cities has received much attention from cities, municipalities, and organizations in the Western Pacific region, and it has grown to have 242 cities and organizations as its members. The Gangdong-gu district is the chair of the WFHC Steering Committee, and this committee makes decisions of the alliance-related policies, and it consists of 5 cities and 2 organizations. And the steering committee of the AFHC works closely with the Secretariat and promotes healthy cities in the Western Pacific region. Currently, nearly half of the population in our region live in urban spaces. And according to scholars, we will have more than 30 megacities with a population of more than 10 million, and 2/3 of them will be located in Asia. And we will continue to experience serious health issues due to rapid urbanization in the Western Pacific region, so we need effective solutions to address them. And against this backdrop, this conference is very meaningful as it is being held in Seoul, a leading megacity of Seoul. And I hope that we will be able to discuss how we can effectively respond to urban issues such as rapid urbanization, climate change, demographic changes, and socioeconomic challenges, and promote the healthy city network among cities, institutions, and experts, so that we can all join our wisdom to envision the future of new, smarter, and healthier cities. I hope that the 10th AFHC Global Conference will be a venue for networking to make our cities healthier and better places to live. And the steering committee will continue to strive to ensure that the AFHC serves as a platform to share information and experiences among cities and municipalities to promote health and quality of life of our citizens. Thank you and welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Ms. Lee Soo-hee, Chair of the AHFC Steering Committee.
We will have the Global Declaration for Healthy Cities Alliance. But before we go ahead, we would like to take a brief moment to set the stage up for the ceremony. So please bear with us for just a minute until the stage is all set. 네, 다음은 건강도시 발전을 위한 글로벌 서약식이 있을 예정인데요. 서약식 준비를 위해서
We are just about to conduct our declaration ceremony. We will take a brief moment to rearrange the stage, and as soon as we are ready, we will start the ceremony right away. It will take a minute or so. We ask you for your patience.
Now the stage and the podium seem to be ready, so I would like to invite onto the stage the representatives from the Global Health Leaders Forum, who have graciously agreed to join us for this significant ceremony. As your name is called, please come up to the stage. 네, 오늘 뜻깊은 서약식에는 글로벌
For the ceremony, we will be inviting the representatives from the Global Health Leaders Forum. As we call out your names, please join us on stage. First, we have with us Mayor Lee Yong-lok of Hongseong-gun.
그리고 Mr. Nasir Ali Khan, Minister of Development and Planning of Gilgit-Baltistan from Pakistan. Please come up to the stage. Also, Mr. Hiroyuki Yamada, Deputy Mayor of Kanazawa City from Japan. Please come up to the stage. for the ceremony. And Mr. Nini, Vice Mayor of Yangon City from Myanmar. Please come up to the stage and join the others for the ceremony. 그리고 대한민국 건강도시협의회
We will now invite Mayor Im Taek, who is also the chair of the Cities of Korea Healthy Cities Partnership.
Vice Mayor of Tel Aviv from Israel. Please join the other gentlemen for the ceremony. And Mr. Siale Akau Ola, Minister of Health from Tonga. Please come up to the stage and be ready for the ceremony. And Ms. Shalika Ranawiera, Municipal Commissioner of Juri Jayawa Danapura, Kotte, from Sri Lanka. You will be the first lady to join them. Welcome on stage. And Mr. Istiak Ahmed Khan, Mayor of Siddhartha Nagar Municipality from Nepal. Please come up to the stage and position yourself behind one of the podiums. And Ms. Dalia Loyola, Mayor of Carmona from the Philippines, please come up to the stage and position yourself on the stage. Mr. Hilmi Ohaman, Mayor of Kuching North from Malaysia. Please come on up to the stage. Mr. Reun Sothi Lang, Mayor of Kampot City from Cambodia. Please join the other gentlemen on the stage. And Mr. Vladislav Andronov, Deputy Mayor of Kyiv from Ukraine. Please come up to the stage and position yourself on the first row. And Mr. Gafar Uher Belau, Minister of Health and Human Services from Palau, please come on to the stage. You'll be standing on the first row. 그리고 건강도시연맹
We also have with us Chairman Lee Soo-hee of the AFHC Steering Committee. Please stand in the first row. And we also have with us Model Han Hae-jin, who is the ambassador for the Seoul Healthy City.
Mr. Sri Vinay Kumar Saxena, Lieutenant Governor of Delhi from India, please come on to the stage for the important ceremony. And then Ms. Keiko Nakamura, Head of Secretariat of AFHC. Please join the rest on the stage. Thank you for your cooperation. 자, 그리고 마지막으로 오세훈
Last but not least, we have with us Mayor of Seoul, Mr. Oh Se-hun.
자, 이제 모두 자리에 위치하신 것 같습니다.
I think we have now positioned on stage
of the Healthy Cities Alliance Declaration. After we finish the reading, please sign the tablet placed in front of you.
The 10th Global Conference of the Alliance for Healthy Cities, Global Commitment to Action for Healthy Cities. A global declaration, Healthy Cities. We pledge to prioritize sustainable development and health promotion to create a city where every citizen can lead a healthy and happy life. 1. Blueprint for a smart healthy city. We aim to design an urban ecosystem where citizens can lead healthier and more prosperous lives by intelligently connecting humans, the environment, and the systems. We will present a sustainable healthy city model and systematically address the health issues faced by each city. 2, building a sustainable and resilient urban environment. We will create a resilient urban environment capable of addressing future challenges such as climate change, infectious disease, and other health crises. By doing so, we will continuously maintain a safer and healthier urban environment. 3, promoting health equity among cities. We pledge to ensure an equitable environment where all citizens can enhance their health without social and economic discrimination. By collaborating with stakeholders in each city, we will explore strategies and discuss solutions to address health inequalities, ensuring that everyone can enjoy a healthy life. 4, strengthening international cooperation. We will strengthen international cooperation beyond city boundaries, pledging to make joint efforts to help cities around the world move towards common goals and solve the health challenges they face. We deeply recognize our responsibilities as global leaders in building healthy cities and pledge to faithfully implement this commitment. Through this conference, we have established a shared vision and goals to create healthy and sustainable cities by cooperating with cities worldwide. We are committed to building a close cooperation systems to realize this vision.
자, 이제 낭독이 끝났습니다.
We have heard the statement, and we would now like to ask you to sign the tablet.
And thank you, Keiko Nakamura, for the reading of the declaration. The signatures of those signing on the commitment are now being displayed in real time on the monitor. Why don't we gather our hands together for a warm round of applause to support this remarkable commitment, where cities around the world came united to create better, healthier environments. Thank you all very much for your participation. Now we're going to have a group photo op, so please remain on stage and move to the front of the podiums for a group photo session. 자, 이제 연단 앞으로 이동하셔서 기념 촬영을.
We would now like to take a commemorative photo. Please move towards the front of the stage.
And stand at the center and look towards the cameras at the center. Can you spread a little bit? Now look towards the camera and show us your biggest and healthiest smiles. 자, 카메라 정면을 바라봐 주시고
Please look towards the front. Please show us your big happy smiles.
can we have a different pose? Can you make little finger hearts? 자, 손가락으로 하트 한번 만들어 볼까요?
We will now have finger hearts.
네, 손가락 하트도 보여주고 계십니다. We're going to have several more photos taken, this time with all of the mayors, vice mayors, ambassadors, and district chiefs in attendance today. Please come up to the stage. 자, 모든 시장님, 부시장님들, 그리고 주한 대사님들, 시의회님들, 의원님들, 구청장님들 모두 무대 위로 올라와 주시면 다 같이 기념 사진을 촬영하도록 하겠습니다. 자, 참석하신 귀빈분들은 모두 주저하지 마시고
We would like to invite all distinguished guests to join us on stage.
네, 오늘 귀빈분들이 총 한
We do have with us about 50 distinguished guests from around the world, and we hope that you will stand on stage so that all of you can fit into one picture. We ask you to stand on the stage or on the stairs in front of the stage.
We have about 50 distinguished guests from both home and abroad today. So we're going to have a big, large family photo. 자, 이제 정면에 있는 카메라를 바라봐.
Please face the camera in the front.
Please show us your big, handsome smile. How about a fighting pose with your fists in the air? Show us your fists in the air. Fighting. 자, 화이팅 포즈로 기념 촬영을 마치도록 하겠습니다. The photos will make a terrific page on your journey. 자, 이제 사진 촬영을 서서히 마무리하도록 하겠습니다.
We are about to wrap up the photo session. Thank you very much.
Now, kindly ask all our VIP guests to return to your seats. The photo op is over. Hope you all enjoy the photo session. 네, 이제 자리로 돌아가서 착석해 주시면 되겠습니다.
Now you may go back to your seats. The photo session is over. Please return to your seats. Thank you.
네, 모두 협조해 주셔서
Thank you very much for your cooperation. It was a large group of distinguished guests on the stage for a photo session, and they're now returning to their seats. Thank you.
Please take your seats. We have 2 keynote speeches left before we wrap this off. It'll be appreciated if you could kindly be seated. 네, 아직 기조 연설이 남았습니다.
We still have 2 keynote presentations awaiting us, so please take your seats.
Now it's time for us to have today's keynote speeches. Our keynote speaker is Dr. Susan Mercado, Director of the World Health Organization, Regional Office for the Western Pacific. Dr. Mercado is a physician and public health expert with over 30 years of experience in public health practice, policy, and systems at the international level. The topic is transitioning to smart and sustainable healthy cities. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Susan Mercado with a huge round of applause.
honorable ministers, mayors of the Alliance for Healthy Cities, the Honorable Mayor of Seoul, Mayor Oh, President of the Seoul City Council, fellow advocates and partners of Healthy Cities, distinguished guests. Joon Achim Imnida. Good morning. I can't hear you. Good morning. Okay. It's a great day. It's a great day for the cities, and it is my pleasure to be part of the opening of the 10th Global Conference on Healthy Cities. I'd also like to recognize the members of the Diplomatic Corps who are here from all over the world. And I am, in fact, delivering this message on behalf of our Regional Director, Dr. Saya Mao Piukala, who is the first Pacific Regional Director of the World Health Organization. At some points, I'm going to tell some stories that don't come from him, but come from me, because I've been part of the work of the Alliance for many years. And it is indeed wonderful to see old friends, familiar faces, and also new partners who are working on healthy cities. Today, we are celebrating the success of healthy cities, not just in the Western Pacific, but from around the world, where health is the forefront of urban agendas. This morning, when I was speaking with Mayor Oh, I was asked about the approach, and I said in 1986, with the Ottawa Charter, one of the things that came up was the importance of enabling health in the places where people live, learn, work, and play. And Healthy Cities was actually born in that era. And it is amazing to see how it is now an idea that has come of age. It is the right time to talk about health and cities, and we are indeed here to celebrate all the work that has been done through the Alliance for Healthy Cities. On behalf of the World Health Organization, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to the Seoul Metropolitan Government for hosting this event, and to the Alliance of Healthy Cities for organizing and demonstrating what good urban governance can do. We are in the amazing city of Seoul. And today I was looking at the logo of Seoul City. It actually looks like a human being. But when I studied it, the red dot, which is like the head of a person, is the sun. And the green part of it is a mountain. And then the blue wave is the river. And I thought, if our cities could think about cities in that way, to think about it in relation to environment and health, then cities can truly become a catalyst for the health of humanity. We all know that there are many problems that we face in the world, but Seoul is like a breath of fresh air. And it's a beautiful day outside. I thought when I arrived yesterday, the climate was great. I was here in July and it was very, very hot. And they were telling me that last week, it was very, very hot. And all over the world, we're experiencing these extremes of climate, which I hope is reminding all of us that this indeed is the largest challenge for public health. And cities have a big role to play in adaptation and helping people survive what is probably the most catastrophic occurrence of our generation. We all know that when we talk about healthy cities, we talk about the health of people. But Mayor O has talked about One Health, so the health of animals, the health of the environment, and the health of people. And I think this holistic approach is very important in the work that we do in the cities as we seek to strengthen urban governance so that people will be healthier. I said I was going to deviate a little bit from the speech of Dr. Piukala, and I was just going to reminisce a bit because I was part of the first organizing committee of the Alliance. That was in 2003. And at that time, there were only 8 cities that were working with us. We were in Kuching, Malaysia, and I note that the mayors of Kuching North and South are here. Maybe we can ask them to stand and give them a round of applause. Mayors of Kuching North and South, yes, there you go. So they were in the original and they hosted the first meeting of the Alliance for Healthy Cities. And goodness, that was a long time ago. Now I hear that we have over 188 cities and 48 associated members. And this has been under the leadership of Keiko Nakamura. Is Keiko here? Where's Keiko? Keiko, please stand. Where are you? There. Okay. Keiko Nakamura was the Lone Ranger of the WHO Collaborating Center for Healthy Cities at the Tokyo Medical and Dental University in Japan. And at that time, we didn't know where this was going. I would never imagine it would become this big. And I think this is really a tribute to the pioneers who continued to support the work of Healthy Cities. And now it is indeed an approach that has come of age. Okay. We come together at a time when cities have become central to human well-being. And for the Western Pacific region, 1.1 billion people, or 3 out of 5 people, live in cities. Having so many people close together creates challenges, but it also creates many opportunities. Cities have an immense potential to drive health, innovation, and progress. But as you know, cities face many challenges. The other speakers have talked about rapid and unplanned urbanization. And then there is the challenge of climate and the challenge of new emerging diseases and conflict in many parts of the world. So good urban governance for health is critical. And this is why the mayors are so important as catalysts for health of humanity. We can do more in smaller places than what we can do in large areas. And from Seoul, you will see how park by park, sidewalk by sidewalk, things have changed over the years. This is the model that we see in healthy cities, not just here in Korea, but in other parts of Asia and the Pacific. Urbanization can be a powerful force for health if managed responsibly. Cities are always engines for growth, for trade, but we forget that cities are magnets because of their diversity. People are attracted to diversity, to entertainment, to meeting new people, to doing and seeing new things. This is part of our human nature, that we want to see different things in our lives. And so there is an opportunity for us to deliver food, water, and education, as well as jobs and recreation. Cities also provide unique opportunities for improving mental health and social well-being. And again, in our earlier conversation with Mayor Oh, he was talking about loneliness, a topic that we have talked about. I think Atsuro Tsutsumi is here in the audience somewhere. Atsuro, are you there? Okay, anyway. Loneliness has become a huge issue, huge issue. I used to work at the Kobe Center in Japan, and my director, Dr. Wilfred Kreisel, who's also here. Wilfred, say hello, where are you? There, that's Dr. Wilfred Kreisel, all right. So when we were in the Kobe Center, we talked about a phenomenon where people die alone. And this is in Japan, and they're only discovered maybe days after their death. And now Seoul City Mayor is talking about loneliness not just among older people, but also among the young. So there are many opportunities we can use in the cities to increase connectedness and social well-being. Now, cities can act as catalysts for healthier populations by merely creating better spaces for people to live, work, learn, and play. In this photograph, we have dancing, and I've seen this all over Asia. As long as people have a place to dance, they're gonna dance. As long as people have a place to play music, they're going to play music. And so it is not just about not being sick, it's about enjoying a high quality of life in the cities. Now, let us not forget that equity is at the core of urban development. And when we were in the Kobe Center, we had mapped out how many people lived in slums in the world. And that was the first time that the World Health Organization talked about 1 billion people living in slums and informal settlements. And we still see that today. Even among the richest cities, we have people who are living in informal settlements without water or sanitation or food. And we see homeless people who wander from place to place. So as we plan and as we continue to expand healthy cities, let us think about equity and vulnerable groups, because healthy cities should be inclusive. Again, Mayor O talked about this, that it is not just for the wealthy. It is for everyone in the city. All right. Now, in this photograph, we have two girls who are sitting on a mat, okay? And I wanted to show this because our regional director has led a process for a vision of weaving health for families, communities, and societies. And I'd just like to acknowledge Minister Siale from Tonga. Please stand. All the way from Tonga. And Minister Jaafar from Palau. Where are you? There you go. So let's give them a round of applause. And that's why we are thinking not just of cities, but also of islands that are rapidly urbanizing. That is the trend all over the world. So I think we are thinking about the weaving of a mat to symbolize collective action. And as we talk about healthy cities, we also need to talk about other parts or other geographic settings that could learn from healthy cities. Cities that are better prepared for emergencies, are more resilient, is very important for us now. We have learned this from COVID-19, that we cannot wait for another pandemic to occur. We have to put in place the infrastructure, the support for early detection, for providing services, and for addressing both prevention and vaccination when there are new viral attacks. Because in the urban centers, people live close to each other. Now, many of you probably experienced lockdowns. In the Philippines, we had one of the worst lockdowns during COVID-19. And hopefully, we don't ever have to do that again. We should be able to create cities where we can manage new infections. Cities must be resilient and prepared to address pandemics. And that means that we should have climate-resilient infrastructure for health that has water and sanitation. Some of the global reports state that only 40% of primary healthcare settings or centers have running water and sanitation. And I think that is reason for concern. Let's not talk about other types of adaptation, just the most basic things that are needed by healthcare facilities if we are to be truly resilient. The path forward is clear. Better urban governance, leadership of mayors, participation of citizens, energy, transport, housing, all of these contribute to health. It is not about doctors, nurses, and hospitals. Health is about the places where we live, learn, work, and play. And so we must work together. And we must make sure that urban governance meets new standards. We must have strong and unified political will to build things like parks for children. I was in a conference in Japan once where it was very interesting. The designers were saying what is most important in a park is a place where children can hide. Because hiding is part of childhood, pretending that you're not there. But some of our parks are so open or cemented that it does not attract children to play. So we have to think about what is it that human beings need in order to grow and develop in a healthy way. WHO remains committed to supporting the Alliance for Healthy Cities and its efforts to promote good urban governance for health and well-being. And at this point, I'd like to acknowledge all of the members of the World Health Organization who are here. We've got the biggest delegation we've had in 20 years. We've got Director Rudiger. Kretsch, where are you? We have the Regional Advisor for Healthy Cities of Europe. Come on, stand up, all WHO. You're shy? Okay, thank you very much. Let's give them a hand. And we have two directors from the regional office, Dr. Hiro and Dr. Kidong. So we have one of the biggest delegations because we really feel that we want to give full support to the Alliance for Healthy Cities. Now, we have some excitements in the next 4 years. We are planning to support the Alliance for Healthy Cities in expanding to include more than 500 new cities in this movement. So with your help, we can make this happen. We will also launch a training program on urban leadership and governance, something that has been developed in WHO in headquarters that we plan to bring down to the region. These initiatives will help foster self-reliance, equity, and better health. Now, we have an office here. WHO has an office in Seoul, and we do have a booth over there, which I hope you'll visit. And we have these beautiful pins. Can we get a zoom into the pin? So we have these beautiful pins that symbolizes the earth, the sea, the sky. It is an icon that we're using for the Asia Pacific Center for Environment and Health, located here in Seoul. And we are so grateful for the help of Seoul Metropolitan Government and the Ministry of Environment of Korea for funding this and supporting it. And we are 1,000% committed. This center had a bumpy start, but we are now 1,000% committed to making it a jewel for Seoul, for making it a center of excellence, for making it a place where people will want to go to, even virtually, to get the latest information on health and environment, particularly climate change. All right, great expectations from everybody. And again, the Alliance for Healthy Cities has been a unique platform for city leaders, public health experts, and advocates. And I just wanted to say that through the years that I have personally worked on urban health, there's only one principle that applies. It's that mayors don't learn from seminars or reading books. They learn from visiting other cities. And this is the opportunity we have today. We are visiting a beautiful city, but we want to encourage more exchanges, more study tours, because it is through seeing what other people do that we are able to improve our own cities. So on that note, we are looking forward to seeing you at the WHO Awards ceremony in the afternoon. And I hope that this conference will be a turning point for those who are attending for the first time. And we'd like to thank you all for all the hard work you do to ensure that people will be healthier and experience a better quality of life. Thank you.
Let's give another round of applause for Dr. Mercado. 메르카도 박사님께 다시 한번.
Another big round of applause to Dr. Mercado.
We will have one more keynote speech, this time from Associate Professor Lee Jin-hyung. She was the inaugural recipient of the 2018 Lina 50 Plus Award, which recognizes individuals who have contributed to improving the quality of life and health for those over 50. She's the first Korean woman to serve as a tenured professor of neuroscience at Stanford University. And she's also the founder of the Silicon Valley startup, Elvis, which is a company dedicated to diagnosing brain disorders. Please join me in welcoming her with a nice round of applause.
Good morning. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here with you today. Actually, I was born and raised in Seoul, so it's very moving to be here with all the leaders around the world to discuss health in my hometown. So today, the topic that I want to talk to you about can be summarized as AI and perhaps the future of brain health. Brain disorder is actually a very serious problem, and it's very close to all of us in our daily lives. I remember watching recently a movie titled Still Alice, where a 50-year-old Columbia linguistics professor suddenly realizes she has Alzheimer's and describes what it's like to live with Alzheimer's. As an electrical engineer myself, I actually was educated as an electrical engineer all the way throughout my PhD, but my grandmother had a stroke around the time I finished my PhD, which is when I decided to switch my research to looking into brain disorders, realizing that brain is actually a circuit which has a lot of resemblance to electrical circuits that we build and also analyze. So brain health care is actually a growing concern. There are neurodegenerative disorders, there are also developmental disorders such as autism, and also infectious disease like COVID-19 results in brain disorders. And so it's a #1 cause of disability worldwide. There are 1 billion patients worldwide, and in the US alone, it costs about $1 trillion a year. So it's a very serious problem. And recognizing this is not something that's at the level of a single university or a lab or a company. And so there has been a big push at the government level to address this issue in many of these countries listed here for approximately the past 15 years, which has been the time that I have been doing brain research. And of course, a lot of the efforts in the US has also supported my research. But one very important key take-home message is that there has been a lot of effort, but there is no clear solution to date. And also, the fact that the brain disorder is increasing dramatically suggests that there is no solution that is actually making an impact yet. So why is that? What is the challenge? To solve a problem, you need to be able to define the problem. And the issue is that it is very difficult to figure out what's going on inside your brain. So let's think about how that might be achieved. There are a couple different approaches where communicating with the brain, there are 3 primary approaches that has actually been featured in a lot of popular movies, including Ready Player One, Matrix, and Avatar. And some of these approaches include using the existing user interface, like the 5 senses. And also, you can put implant chips, which would correspond to wired communication, which you can see in the movie Matrix. And also, you can utilize brain scans, which would correspond to wireless communication. And I would definitely prefer scans of wireless communication over putting a chip inside my brain. So there are lots of pros and cons to these different approaches, but one of the key issues is that something as easy as using the existing UI has the problem that it is difficult to utilize for fixing the brain disorder when there are complicated problems like Alzheimer's disease occur. And in the case of putting invasive implants, obviously that's not a very preferred method for any of you if you have brain disorders. So doing a brain scan is a very ideal approach. However, the issue is that without knowing how the brain works inside, it's very difficult to make that useful for what we want to do, like curing brain disorders. So it was my recognition that indeed the key problem that needs to be solved to address brain disorders is to understand how the brain works, understand the inner workings of it, so I understand how my arm is controlled, how the memory is controlled, in order to solve brain disorders. And this can be described also in the form of making a digital twin of the brain. If you can make a digital copy that does something similar to what you want to understand, it means a lot of different things. It means that you can understand how it works, but it also means that if you apply therapy, you can make predictions of the outcome, which means you can start to design effective therapy. So for the past 15 years, I had the singular goal of making a digital twin of the brain, and starting with developing the brain circuit analysis tool and then to utilizing that tool to understand brain circuits in disease, we were able to create digital twins of the brain that allows us to really understand how the brain works. And so this has not been a very easy effort, of course. It took about 15 years. And it started with basic science research in my laboratory at Stanford University, and then to actually deliver the solution. In an academic lab, the end product is a paper that doesn't cure people. And so what we then started to do was also take the science and work on delivering it to people. And so the commercialization effort has been occurring for the past 10 years. And so while wonderful technology like ChatGPT, when it comes to the public, people are really excited, but in the back end, something like that requires a long time to develop. And we've now been spending about 15 years to develop this technology. And to be able to deliver the solution to patients, I founded this company called Elvis. Elvis stands for Live Visualization of Brain Circuits. The core problem of not being able to address anything in the brain is that you can't see anything. So you don't know what's going on. And so based on that idea, we call the company Elvis. So Elvis's goal is to really allow a different approach to brain health care by being able to visualize what goes inside the brain. And this effort has been supported by various entities at Stanford that helps technology to reach the public, and also through collaboration with various foundations and companies. So far, I told you about how the brain is not very well understood, so we don't know what to do. At the same time, the population of brain disorder patients are increasing dramatically. And because of the fact that the patient population is increasing, it's not only that we don't know how to cure it, it's a big burden on the healthcare system. Because even in the United States, one of the most advanced countries, there's only one neurologist for 24,000 people. But the incidence of brain disorders is very high, where the prevalence is about over 1% in many of the disorders. And so one day, actually last year, in our faculty meeting, my department chair came to the meeting and said, we need to do everything and anything to improve throughput of our patient care, because at this point, because there's so many patients and they can't see doctors, they are asking me to see patients at my porch, and I can't do that anymore. So in reality, it's very difficult to treat the patients when they come to the clinic. At the same time, the patients are struggling to even meet doctors. And so these are the problems that need to be solved in brain healthcare. First of all, there is extreme shortage of trained specialists and technicians in the field of neurology. And so in terms of all the equity that we've been talking about, in brain healthcare, many people cannot even have access to seeing a doctor. And because also many of the process used in the neurology clinic is analog and manual, the cost is extremely high, which also makes it difficult to have equity in this space. Also, because of the reasons I explained earlier, where we don't understand how the brain works, the outcome is not so great because we don't exactly know how to solve the problems. So these were the three problems I set out to solve. The solution, this is what I believe can be a solution. One thing that we can do is have AI-based automation. Automation allows for a cheaper, faster solution that can be distributed to wider populations. In the field of neurology, not having specialists, the specialist number is so small that it's almost impossible to provide the service that's needed to the ever-growing patient population. So AI-based automation is one. Another solution can be to also have web-based solutions that also increases the distributability of the digital technology. And then, through the digital twin technology that we've developed to date, we can have a more accurate visibility into what the brain does. And so based on these philosophy, we created the solution called NeuroMatch. And I'm showing you an example of a digital twin network from an actual patient. So what NeuroMatch does is takes the patient's functional data and manages the database, automatically detects important events that we want to treat, and then shows you the digital twin of the brain, as you see here, and also generate the report. This kind of thing can only be done in large hospitals in metropolitan areas with like 20, 30 people staff who can actually manage this. But through solutions like this can be done all automatically by the software, which can easily be distributed to any location. So NeuroMatch actually breaks down barriers. What we can do is have doctors, patients in any country with limited resources have the data be uploaded to NeuroMatch, and once the data is uploaded, all the necessary calculations and report generation can be done and sent back to the cloud. And also this will allow collaboration of doctors between different countries and regions, where doctors in hospitals with significant expertise and resources in any country or region can also take a look at the report, make recommendations on how the patient can be treated. And so this allows easy access of advanced brain network analysis, standardization, quality control from any location, including remote clinics or like clinical trial locations. So to summarize Elvis NeuroMatch solution and its mission, it's actually very well aligned with the mission of Alliance for Healthy Cities. I looked up what the mission is, and I was very surprised to see that it's actually very well aligned, where the problem we're trying to solve is extreme shortage of healthcare resources, high cost, and need for improved outcome, which we solve through AI-based automation, web-based solution, and the digital twin technology. And this actually allows smart healthcare through connectivity and collaborations, sustainable healthcare through efficient resource allocation, and equitable healthcare by having the technology that can really make this kind of care that's available to anyone around the world. So Elvis NeuroMatch has been working on solutions for various disorders. We envision a system like an Apple iPhone, where you have a system where different kind of applications can be distributed through these web portals, where the epilepsy solution we have completed last year, and we are in the process of deploying it this year. And also Alzheimer's, sleep, Parkinson's, and autism are different solutions that we have in the pipeline that are in the works. So just to give you a brief summary of what the scene looks like for epilepsy, for example, there are about 65 million patients worldwide, but I assume that this number is underestimated because it's actually very difficult to spot epilepsy in many of the patients. And in developing countries, up to 90% of people with epilepsy do not receive adequate treatment. And so even in the United States, the epilepsy diagnosis wait time is about 19 months because of the fact that there are very limited resources and most people don't have access to this healthcare. So to have your brain evaluated for epilepsy diagnosis, you have to visit these specialty centers in the United States, for example. And you can see that some states have 0, some states have 1, and even in states where they have large numbers, considering the size of the states, it's actually very small. So there are expressions like epilepsy care deserts because of the fact that you can't really have access to this kind of healthcare. And this is not a problem limited to the United States. There are many countries where this problem exists. And so once you wait 19 months and be able to travel to these places to get care, the next step is for this big team of doctors and staff to evaluate what has been measured. And traditional care, this takes about 1 week, which also makes it very difficult to scale your process. But with NeuroMatch, what we can do is have the results be delivered in real time, which completely transforms how the brain health care can be delivered. I'm going to show you a very short video of some of the process that is utilized in this new platform that we've developed. And here, what you can see is that to make everything seamless, all the way from collecting the data to the report generation, what we have done is make a web portal. This is a web software, so you don't have to install anything. You just open a browser. And what you can do is have database management based on the patient and the doctor and the timeline of all your different care, where you can look at the changes of your different brain status, for example. And so all of that is very easily maintained through the web portal, where you don't really need any other resource than having the internet. And then, once that is done, you can maintain the longitudinal aspect of how your brain is changing. Right now, in the clinic, because there are limited technological resources, even in advanced clinics, it's very hard to look up your old data even, for example. And then once this data is in place, we also use artificial intelligence to pick up all the important events that are associated with the patient's abnormal activity. And so here, for example, the probability of an abnormal event is outlined in the green little blobs underneath the waveforms that you see. It also cleans the data. It quantifies the different aspects of the data that needs to be analyzed, and you can look at it in different screens. Everything is designed like a Google interface where you can easily click and go through and navigate. And then the difficult process of something that only a large number of expert doctors can do is done automatically, where thousands of events are detected, summarized, categorized, and you can directly visualize in a virtual brain. You can see here where the important events occurred. And so this is one form of short events that occur in epilepsy patients. And you can see just in one shot that all the different activities that needs to be paid attention. This is normally a 2-3 hour process for the doctor and the staff to do. But this is done automatically in real time, and you can review them as you see with a pop-up window very easily, go through all the different regions and see which part of the activity is relevant that you can see here. Also, a longer form of activity, you can see in this example where there are 2D, 3D plots, but also our brain digital twin analysis that is done here, where you can see the actual video of what's going on inside the brain. Our slogan is actually "See the Invisible," because what this allows you to do is directly see what's going on. And once you can see things, it's actually very obvious how to treat them. And so before, everything was, how have you been feeling? I look at your data and I think there's some abnormality here and there. That was a talking point in discussion before, but now you can directly see and address the issue, where we don't have to feel helpless with brain disorders, where we can directly start to address them. And so this is an example of the solution where you can look at the digital twin associated with epilepsy. And after all of these evaluations are done, also for very efficient dissemination of the solution, it's also important to communicate with all the different healthcare professionals. And here, for example, when a neurologist evaluates this has to be sometimes sent to the patients or to the surgeon to communicate what needs to be done to the patient. And that has been a manual process so far, where you would open up a Word document and say, patient A needs to have a problem in the left hippocampus, and so maybe you would consider surgery there. And so that kind of communication increases time, resources, and costs, which makes it difficult to deliver equitable solutions. And here, you can do this through a software solution. And to have that communication, there are advanced software features, like just creating a screenshot where I would say, oh, I would like to remember this particular network and put it in the report that the doctors write for various medical procedures. And here you can just say send to report. And once you say that, it automatically attaches to the report that is automatically generated. And so this is the kind of solution that can be deployed in very resource-limited environments, and also link the doctors of different environments to discuss the patient's cases together. So I told you about epilepsy, and actually epilepsy is one of many brain disorders, and I would also like to emphasize that all the brain disorders are related. Epilepsy, autism, and Alzheimer's disease. Most of you might think that they are completely irrelevant diseases to one another, but in fact, they're very closely linked. Patients who have epilepsy have Alzheimer's, Alzheimer's patients have epilepsy, patients who have autism have epilepsy, epilepsy patients have autism, and so there's a lot of these links. And for example, autism and Alzheimer's, currently there's no treatment for these disorders, while epilepsy, for example, has many forms of treatment. But because it's difficult to diagnose epilepsy and even know what treatment to offer to epilepsy, typical epilepsy patients, many of the patients who have these problems, like Alzheimer's and autism patients, doctors never know that they actually have epilepsy symptoms going on. And epilepsy is something that can be treated and can prevent further worsening of the disorders. And so having an automated solutions like NeuroMatch can also enable a completely different workflow to start to manage other disorders such as autism and Alzheimer's disease. So Elvis is a company that's located in Palo Alto, and there are also branches, 2 different branches in South Korea. And our goal is to provide high throughput, cost reduction with improved outcome, which are 3 main important goals of healthcare. And this will enable efficient healthcare for healthcare providers, reduce costs for payers, and also enable development of new drugs and devices with much more efficient cost compared to the current approaches of let's try it and spend $1 billion and oh, that didn't work. And also, on an individual level, ultimately, we want to be able to provide the solutions to individuals where a simpler version, you can wake up and put it on your head and see, oh, today, you know, my memory is not looking so good. Maybe I should get more points today on your what was it called? Risk Doctor 9988. I should get more points here today rather than go binge drinking. And so you can start to manage your healthcare by having a feedback point. Wouldn't it be great to know that, you know, I did some running today and that resulted in my brain cognitive ability going up by a couple points? And that's the kind of thing that will transform individual level brain healthcare as well. And we envision that that type of solution will also be delivered. So what's possible when accurate brain disorder diagnosis is available? You can have regular health checks, you can have daily health checks on your own, or even go and have a more sophisticated health check in health check centers. And then, if there seems to be a problem, you can have detailed diagnosis, which tells you exactly which part of your brain is malfunctioning, and that actually directly translates to knowing what treatment to apply to that patient. And this will start to transform how we see brain disorders. It will no longer be something where once you have it, you're disabled and everything's done. There are approaches where you can start to systematically manage your brain health. And so right now, at this day and age, because brain disorder is ever increasing with no solution, everything is chaos, where you cannot organize anything. You have to wait a long time to see doctors, but even if you see doctors, there's no solution, and it costs a lot of money to all of us because healthcare is provided by a lot of our tax dollars. But now, once you have this type of information to start to organize how to deliver healthcare, you can start to make integrated and scalable care that involves everyone in the ecosystem, including the healthcare system, the government, the payer, the patients, and all of the above, which will dramatically improve efficiency of brain healthcare. And so with our solution that took 10 years to develop, we have first showcased it in our last year's Epilepsy Society meeting, American Epilepsy Society meeting in Orlando. And it was very exciting to see the doctors' excitement. And this type of solution, because we can start to change the way the healthcare is done for brain healthcare, we are also creating centers for education so that we can start to deliver how the healthcare for the brain can be changed. And so we are building education sites to provide on-site education, in-clinic education, as well as online education to bring local, nationwide, and worldwide communities together. And so one of the things that we are doing right now is to build a NeuroMatch Institute in Palo Alto in collaboration with our local government. And also, our first NeuroMatch Center actually was built in Korea and opened in June with the help of various Korean officials. And our slogan, again, is "See the Invisible," and this is the design of the wall at our first NeuroMatch Center. Also, as part of the education, we are launching NeuroForum, and the inaugural forum was held in June, and we had discussions with various doctors on how these solutions can be deployed to various sites. And NeuroMatch is now undergoing installations in 10 major hospitals in Korea, including the 4 major hospitals in Seoul. And also, one of the goals of this launch is to actually demonstrate how big city and a relatively smaller city with less resources can be linked to actually bring the healthcare to the same level, and beyond. And we are also doing this across different country scale, where we are linking doctors in US and Korea and those in Colombia and Mexico to deliver healthcare in a way that will merge the gap between these different countries in terms of the neurology healthcare. And our vision is that NeuroMatch will help transform brain health care accessibility throughout the world. And these are some of the countries that we are starting to engage because some of the chance meetings and inbound interest. But we hope to be able to engage a lot of the different cities that you guys represent here today. So right now, brain health care is like doctors hauling rickshaws. It's extremely painful, slow, and difficult to scale. But having a solution like NeuroMatch, what we can do is to have doctors be on nice fancy cars and really allow access to many patients who are currently being excluded from these new technologies. Neurological disorder, as I mentioned, brain disorders, are ever increasing. And because of that, they are appearing in many popular media. Alzheimer's disease was featured in Still Alice. There's two very popular Korean TV shows, which is showing like a lawyer who has autism and also demonstrating what a seizure looks like for epilepsy patients in one of the scenes in the show. It is a very serious problem, and we are currently helpless. But this can be solved, and there is a scene in the Still Alice movie where Alice, after being in a rather serious state of Alzheimer's, gets to go to the Alzheimer's Association meeting, and she uses all the different aids of highlighting a pre-written script to talk about what it's like to live with Alzheimer's. And there's a very moving sentence that she talks about where she mentions all the difficulties of having Alzheimer's disease, but this is not who we are. It's just a disease. And this is something that has a cause, and it can be solved. And she mentions how her greatest hope is that this is something that she wishes to be solved so that the children and the next generation doesn't have to suffer from these disorders. And we hope that this can come true in the next few years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Lee. 네, 스탠퍼드 대학교에서
So this was a keynote presentation by Dr. Jin Hyung Lee, the first tenured professor from Korea at Stanford University.
her new innovative technology will diagnose and cure a lot of brain-related diseases and really save the mankind. It's been a very fruitful morning packed with insights to take home. Hope you had a good, rewarding time as we conclude the opening ceremony. We will now have a short coffee break, so please enjoy the refreshments prepared at the back of the hall before we head on to the next program, which will start almost right away as the opening session ran a little bit behind the schedule. The Global Health Leaders Forum will begin here, so we kindly ask all our participants to remain inside the hall as much as possible and join us for the forum. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, we sincerely hope that the 10th Global Conference of the Alliance for Healthy Cities will serve as a precious platform for meaningful exchanges and pave the way for the bright future of smart, healthy cities. We will all look forward to your active participation in the upcoming sessions. Thank you very much. 감사합니다. 이것으로 개회식을
So thank you very much. This is the end of the opening ceremony. The Global Health Leaders Forum will be held here in this venue as soon as the venue is reorganized for the forum. I'd like to ask you to remain here in this venue. This has been Anya Mo. Thank you.